Hi guys, and welcome back to Macaroon. As you might have guessed from the warning message, all the DIYs in this video involve the use of a microwave. Melting craft materials in a microwave requires a lot more heat than making food, so I can't emphasize enough how important it is to take safety precautions. The Pyrex jug I'm using here is made from a special type of glass designed to withstand temperatures of 300 degrees Celsius or 600 degrees Fahrenheit. I ordered these especially for my videos, so please don't try replicating anything at home unless you are absolutely certain that you have the correct equipment. I'm going to be testing out 3 extremely rare methods for making squishies. Incredibly, 2 of these methods were suggested to me by the same user, so a big thanks to Phoenix Pidgey. Let's start with the one that everyone is most curious about, which is melted mochi squishies. There were 2 things that had me intrigued about this method. The first one was seeing a super viral TikTok where someone left squishies in a hot car and they melted on the dashboard. The second was this comment from Phoenix Pidgey, which said that they can be used like plastisol. Plastisol is a soft polymer designed for making fish bait, and I have a whole video on that here. So I'm going to start by dropping 2 squishies into this jar and placing it into the microwave. Once again, I strongly discourage anyone to try replicating this because the biggest risk with microwaves is using the wrong equipment or settings. I was incredibly cautious and never microwaved this for more than 60 seconds at a time. I always took the jar out between each attempt to see how far it had melted. When it reached this stage, I took out some of the paint because I didn't want the black color staining the final liquid. In total, it took almost 20 minutes of constant heating and checking to make sure that these were melted down slowly. Some of you immediately noticed that there was a polymer clay ditto in a previous video. I made it using scrap clay, and I love the fact that ditto is such a simple shape to make, but so iconic and instantly recognizable. It's also extremely easy to mold and requires very little material. These tiny molds are great for making lots of pieces at the same time, or if you happen to end up with leftovers from another DIY. I'm simply going to pour the melted mochi liquid inside. For the second one, I painted the mold using some glitter just to see what effect that could create. I noticed that melted mochi liquid turns hard again very quickly. It even begins to set during the pouring process, so I had to remelt it again for the second squishy. I left these to cool down completely and was really delighted with the result. It's a perfect little ditto with the same consistency of a mochi squishy. The color reminds me a bit of the shiny ditto from Pokemon Go. Unfortunately, the glittery one didn't turn out well because the liquid started to set before it reached the corners. So this just looks like a little wrinkly blob. Now I'm going to add the eyes and mouth using black acrylic paint. The final texture is pretty sturdy, so you can twist and stretch it in all kinds of ways. Next up is candle wax. I actually had this huge candle making kit in my office for years, but it never occurred to me to use it for squishies. It has quite a lot of stuff inside, including different colors and scents. This is transparent gel wax, which is usually made from a type of polymer resin mixed with mineral oil. It reminds me so much of the clear slime that I used to make for these videos. This feels really satisfying and is crystal clear with a soft bendy texture. I think this would also work perfectly for glitter, so I'm going to try out a few different combinations. The best way to melt gel wax is to use a double boiler on the stove because you get a slow, even heat. A microwave is not recommended because the wax can be permanently damaged if the temperature goes above 170 Celsius or 340 Fahrenheit. However, there is actually text printed on here that says microwave reheatable, so I'm going to risk it for this video. Just like the previous DIY, I'm doing this incredibly slowly and stirring it in between. I did 30-second bursts on medium-high until the wax started turning to liquid. By the time this was done, the measuring jug was incredibly hot to touch and I could feel the heat through my gloves. However, this one was easier to pour and stayed liquid longer than the melted mochis. I was simply playing around with different molds and glitter, and you can see that the wax only started to get solid towards the very end. This very last one was a bit of a struggle, but I managed to get it inside. The gel hardens as soon as it cools down, so you don't have to wait very long. And a bonus point is that it doesn't stick to glass, so you can easily peel the leftovers away instead of having to scrub anything off. The mold I'm using is actually an ice cube tray, and the pieces pop out really nicely. It has a squishy texture that reminds me a bit of jelly soap. However, what makes this different to a real squishy is that you can't pull it apart. The candle gel can be squeezed, but it doesn't have the elasticity to stretch. Now let's take a look at the dittos. I was a bit worried about the hands breaking off, but these demolded without any problems. I like the frosty effect here, which is because the inside of the mold is slightly rough. This next one turned out amazing. The glitter creates such an aesthetic effect, and it almost looks like a ditto-shaped soap bubble. Because these squishies are so tiny, I'm actually using a diabetic lancet to add the details. This is the thinnest tool I could find, and I had a whole bunch left over from when I had gestational diabetes. As an alternative, you could also use a sewing needle or the tip of a pin. I love this little ditto, and I never imagined that candle gel could produce such a perfect piece. Last but not least, we have Fishbait. Some of you might be wondering whether this is just plastisol again, but this kit actually contains something completely different. This is called EcoLure, and it's the very first fully biodegradable squishy making material. It's made from a type of natural rubber which will decompose in water. If you've watched my other Fishbait video, then you'll know that plastisol is very synthetic and it smells absolutely toxic when you heat it up. So I'm curious to see how EcoLure is going to compare to that. You get quite a lot of stuff in this kit, including some fish lure molds, mixing cups, mixing sticks, a mold release oil, and fish scent. I'm pretty sure this is one scent you don't want to use anywhere else in crafting aside from this very niche market. Then you have some reusable molding putty, which I'm kind of curious about, but I'll save that for another video. And finally, there are these two packs of EcoLure. I'm a bit unsure about the texture because these look more like crumbly wax and they don't feel particularly squishy either. The instructions say that they're made from an eco-friendly rubber, and you can also mix in edible things like peanut butter or soy sauce. I absolutely love the Fishbait making scene because it's so creative yet completely separate from the squishy making community. I'm going to start by brushing a thin layer of release oil inside my mold. Then I'm adding 1 heaped tablespoon of EcoLure into my jug. Unlike the first two materials, EcoLure only needs to be microwaved for 7 seconds. This seems incredibly short, but when I took it out, the sides were actually starting to melt. I gave it another 8 seconds and it turned into a sticky putty, which should be the correct consistency. You can't really pour this one, so I'm just going to press it into the mold. It hardens pretty quickly, but I was disappointed to find that one of the arms didn't get molded. I realized this was probably because the mold oil collected inside and there wasn't enough space left. This material is quite interesting, but it just doesn't feel very squishy. It's slightly bouncy and rubbery, but it lacks that satisfying movement when you press on it. So the results from this video were surprisingly aesthetic. My favorite is the glittery candle wax, but this one does come with a big drawback. Gel wax is easily breakable, so if you press too hard, then your piece is going to crumble apart. This doesn't make it ideal for squishies, which are supposed to be played with. The same applies to EcoLure. If I press my thumb inside, then it leaves an indentation instead of bouncing back. And if you apply more force, then you can also rip the material apart. I think these are better suited for DIYs which you don't intend to touch a lot, or if you need a cheap material to create some transparent props. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please remember to craft responsibly. All the equipment I used were designed for high heat, and of course these were done under professional settings. If you want to see more resin reviews, then I've linked some of my other videos here. I'm Joanna, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!